What's up? What's up, y'all? We're going to ease into this one today. Funk from the front seat. Live, 9 on the grind TV. Our beautiful, spectacular, amazing writer, producer, entrepreneurs with us today. Hello, Nancy Marie is in the house. All right, y'all feeling me? I said Nancy Marie, y'all. As always, my fabulous, fantastic, amazing producer, Mr. Mark Lee back there behind the glass, keeping it funky and keeping it fast. But you know how we're going to start? With the hometown of our guest, New York City. Where you at? Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, the Shaolin, Bay Shore. What up, what up, what up, what up? I need y'all to move like this from side to side. New Jersey, you heard? What up? Delaware, Baltimore, D.C., home of the Buccaneers Falls, y'all. Detroit, Minneapolis, Chicago, O-H-I-O. What's up, Ohio? What's up, Brenda? How you doing, Boosie and Patty? Y'all stay safe down there at the World Games in Alabama, all right? Oh, it feels so good. Spreading this love around. Tennessee, you the only 10 I see. Oklahoma. Texas, you in the house. New Orleans, Louisiana. Georgia, Q&A. We got Nancy Marie in the house today, y'all. We're going to get real lifted. We got a beautiful queen in here. Arizona, Las Vegas, Nevada, North and South, Chakalaki. Virginia, what's up, fam? You know I love you. Everybody say ho! I see you snapping your fingers and tapping your feet, Brenda. I got you. California, West Coast. Tokyo, Japan, Hawaii. Young Haseyo, Samoans, doing the Humpty Hump. Doing the Humpty Hump. Egypt, Iran, Africa, Canada, Dubai, Italy, Ireland. What's up, Elizabeth? I love you, sweetie. Australia, what's up, Carmen? You know I'm sending my prayers to you. Candy Soul Sister in Germany, I got you, boo. Feels so good, y'all. South America, Peru, Puerto Rico, Colombia, North Pole and South Pole, Ukraine, Romania, Russia, all around the world. There is somebody listening to this show in every one of these places, y'all. Nancy Marie, the beautiful, amazing producer, director, artiste, is in the house with us today. Oh, it's gonna get funky up in here, y'all. Say yeah. I can't hear you say yeah, yes. Night on the Grind TV, funk from the front seat. Coming in hot today, y'all. Be ready for it. Not my fault. I just go what I feel. Gotta be real. I hope y'all are feeling good this beautiful day. Spreading peace, love, and harmony. That's the only way. Right now, without further ado, I got my funk sister coming in here just for you. We got the amazing, the incredible. This woman is doing it very, very big in so many big ways. It's a beautiful thing to have her on the show. The one, the only Nancy Marie is with us today. Hello, my dear.
Zach,
What up, Queen? Man, I miss you. How you doing?
bro.
Yeah, man, it's been a minute. It's been a minute, man. You over here grinding up the universe. I'm watching, man. I'm loving it. I
Trying.
love it.
I'm trying.
Nah, I'm loving it, man. I sit back and I get to watch and support family and all this good stuff, man. And how you be grinding and touching all these beautiful souls and hearts, man. And I'm blessed to be called part of your fam and your tribe. Thank you, appreciate you, man. My producer today, Mr. Mark Lee, back there behind the glass. I appreciate you, Mark. Thank you so much. I'll get up with you in a little bit. So Nancy. Since I last seen you, we got some things to discuss. Oh boy, by the day. But just tell my viewing audience a little bit about your background, a little bit, just to catch up on people that haven't seen you before.
Okay. Well, my name is Nancy Marie, and I'm originally from the home of Jamaica Funk, St. Albans, Queens. Born there. Come from a musical family, if you will. My big sister, Debbie McDuffie, was the first African-American female music producer, composer, arranger in the advertising business. So you might know her first advertising campaign was the Hilltop campaign, which was "I Like to Teach the World to Sing," Coca-Cola.
Wow.
She went on to form her own company. At that time, she was with McCann Erickson. She moved on from McCann to form her own company, and she produced jingles for Pepsi, Miller Beer. If you've got the time, we got the beer. Luther Vandross, that was her spot.
That's hers?
Yeah, so she was an amazing big sister whose footsteps I thought I would never be able to fill. So I didn't even, I kind of wandered away from the music business. I had my, little hits here and there, but I was like, I might do better in the theater. So I started, pursuing theater and wound up becoming a teacher for 16 years. And things have just come full circle where I'm now able to do everything from music to theater to producing videos, all from an edutainment perspective. So I make sure that the projects that I attach myself to have some sort of educational value, because that is so important for us to be educated, to walk away learning something that we didn't know before that's going to benefit our lives and make us better people. So
Amen.
That's pretty much me in a nutshell. Aside from being a mom of 7 and a grandmom of 9.
That's important. And the queen. Don't forget that. And the queen. That's important. Some of those things that you said, you're involved in now and doing, so many new projects, but I was watching, some of your stuff and, talking about, with Mark about, your accomplishments and, right now, you're an amazing Black woman accomplishing these amazing things in times that are really built against you. And I want to start there in lieu of some of our most recent, policies and procedures, but not really the political side of it. But just for my audience out there and any women that are watching, young, old, Black, white, whatever, give them a little insight as to how you overcome some of these stereotypical humps of the male-dominated society.
Oh, my goodness. It takes an inner strength that I really had to discover that I had. For so long, I was depending upon somebody coming to save me, to lift me up, to put me on that pedestal where I belonged to do the things that I needed to do. And one of my sayings that I've been saying for years now that I've made this discovery is, not just for women, for us as a people, for people in general, nobody's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. So it starts with introspection, recognizing and realizing what has been placed inside of you, and the fact that it wasn't placed there to stay there. It was placed there for you to manifest it into the earth. That takes strength, it takes courage, it takes determination, it takes shutting your ears to the rhetoric that will prevent you from even stepping out and thinking that you can, because the rhetoric right now is that you can't. And that's a lie.
Yeah.
Because I know that this stuff in me, it has to get out because it has to help somebody else. It has to uplift, it has to encourage, it has to put people in a place where they know, well, God, she did it. I can do it too.
Yes. And that's well said, because that's what I think, not enough people are focusing on. Kevin and I, we talk about this all the time about spiritual food and feeding people. No matter what it is that you're doing, just make sure, like you said so eloquently at the top of the show, make sure that they're getting something out of it and you're giving your gift back once you discover that inner light. For those of you just tuning in, we're watching, hanging out with Nancy Marie today. Welcome to Fun from the Front Seat. Please stay active on the chat line. Please drop your comments in, and we'll make sure we get back to them. And you can find all information on the bottom, scrolling past. And when we look at society now and all of the social media doors that are now open, right? I think that's a good thing. I don't know your opinion about it, but I know it has helped so many people get to where they thought they couldn't get to. So for all the ills of social media, I think if we're doing it correctly, it can help people. What do you think about that?
Yeah, social media, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yeah,
So
it
it
is.
really depends on how you utilize it, and it depends on how you view it. A lot of our young people are being led astray
Yes.
because of
Yes.
the content that
Yes.
they're viewing on social media. It's putting them in this mindset that it's easy peasy. All I got to do is dress like this or do that, do the third, and I've
Yes.
made it. And so many are becoming disappointed and disillusioned when they try to go down that path and they recognize, oh, it's not as easy as they're making it seem to be.
Yes.
So and it's unbridled in the sense that, like I said, it's accessible, it's available, and we really don't have the levels of control where we can kind of rein that in and kind of point them in a different direction. So like I said, it's a blessing on one hand, because it allows us independent artists to do our thing and get out there and promote ourselves and put that positive content out there. But it's also a curse because the forces on the other side have that same accessibility, that same availability.
Yeah.
And if there's not a guidance in place to kind of redirect folks to what they need to be seeing and guide them away from what they don't necessarily need to see, it could be, traumatic.
Yeah, you're right. And see, that's what I wanted to touch base on. This, we're going to get into, your production and your plays and things that you're doing and your directorship in a little bit. But I wanted to hit on this first because, this show is organic, as you know, and you come on. I always value and respect your opinion for everything that you do. And I always like to make sure that people understand the content of what we get ready to get into is not always about, professional careers and things. We're socially conscious. All my guests that come on the show are woke, and otherwise I would prefer, not to speak on any negativity, but I like people to stay woke. And when you come on like you do and you're saying what you're saying, people that are watching this show, just know that this stuff is happening all around the world. It's not just here in the United States. The agenda is so big and so out of control, and in every aspect, from sports to healthcare to politics to policing, and social media does play a part. So if you're out there, be mindful of what you tweet, what you text. Be mindful and respectful of what you comment on. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but the best comment is no comment.
Well, listen, sometimes I'll find myself like, and then I'm like, you know what? Delete, because it's not even necessary. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Engaging in that. So yeah, but
We'll suck some energy out.
I want to go in hard. I'm like, nah, I can't.
Yeah, we're gonna suck some energy out, because sometimes I want to go in hard because I know people don't know what the devil they're talking about.
Right.
Especially if it's something I know. Now, I know very little. As Vietnamese say, I know TT. I know very little. But what I do know is that some things, and I'm like, well, this definitely doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
Definitely.
Some of that stuff have you doing the Leslie Jones lean, like.
Exactly. So tell us what's been happening in your professional career. I know you're working on this play, and you've done that. You directed, right? You did something recently in theater.
Oh, okay. No, actually, I was a part of a very, very special project.
Tell us about that.
There's a theater company here in Philadelphia called Theater in the X. Theater in the X was formed in 2013 to remove the barriers for people in the inner city having access to quality theatrical productions. So what this company started doing was performing in Malcolm X Park in West Philadelphia every summer, free of charge. So the community were getting all these different types of projects. They did Othello one year. Othello is well, not the longest, but it's a long play. It was about 3.5 hours.
Wow.
The people were captivated. Now we're talking West Philadelphia, inner city kids. Okay. 3 hours in 90-degree heat. They did not budge. They did not move. They sat through the whole thing. Shakespeare, bruh. Shakespeare, okay? So this is the impact that this company is having on the community. So what happened this past year, and we closed on May 7th, and it was one of the most exhilarating things that I've ever been a part of. We did a production of Shakespeare's Richard III.
Right.
And I got to play Queen Elizabeth.
You.
It was my first time being on stage since the pandemic hit. I was actually scheduled to do Dominique Morisseau's Skeleton Crew. Right when the pandemic hit, we were 3 weeks away from opening. Right. And the pandemic shut that whole production down. So aside from readings on Zoom and things like that, I hadn't been on the stage, in over 2 years. So I got a call from Carlo Campbell, who is one of the founders of Theater in the X, along with Lanish White and Walt DeShields. Carlo gave me a call and said, "Hey, you want to do some Shakespeare with us?" I was like, yeah, and then I found out who the cast members were going to be. We had Z McGill, Ron Lee Jones, Anthony Cooper. And I was like, oh, I would be a fool to say no to this. So it was an homage to the African Grove Theater. Now, the African Grove Theater is the first Black theater in U.S. history. Started in 1821, 6 years before slavery was abolished officially in New York State. Okay? Founded by a gentleman named William Brown. William Brown started this on, I believe it was Bleecker Street was his first location. Mm-hmm. And he was actually holding events in his backyard. Then he
Wow.
ended up moving to Thompson Street, and he built the theater, a 300-seat theater on the second floor of his home. And they were doing all kinds of productions there. And it blew up so much that he actually had to build another level to accommodate our white brothers and sisters. And it was funny because he had them sitting, above the other ones, because he said that they did not know how to behave during events for African
You
Americans.
flipped the script on him.
That was kind of funny, but
Flip the script.
yeah. So one of the productions that he did was Richard III, and it's funny because Richard III and Othello were the two productions that really, put them on the map. And here we are, Theater in the X did Othello first and followed up with Richard III.
Right.
So it was homage to them because that theater actually became a target in a COINTELPRO investigation, and mysteriously the theater was burned down, and then you heard nothing else about it, with the exception of the fact that one of the young actors, Ira Aldridge, came out of that theater company and went on to be one of the most eloquent Shakespearean actors of that time.
Uh-huh.
So it was an homage to them. We
Uh-huh.
sold out every night of the production, and it was just one of the most amazing things that I've ever been a part of. The rehearsal period was only 4 weeks. So imagine learning the Shakespearean language in that amount of time and pulling it off and doing it so that you had people coming up saying, I never understood Shakespeare before. I understood it this time, so it was monumental, and I was just blessed to be a part of that and to play the queen.
Well, a queen will always play a queen, so I get that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong from my Shakespeare memory, but wasn't Othello black, brown-skinned man? Wasn't he? Okay, tell us a little bit about his character. I'm curious.
Okay, so Othello was a Moor who had been shipped over to Italy. He married Desdemona.
Yes.
And so it was, that interracial relationship. And then you
Yes.
had Iago, who was just out to get him because he felt like Othello took his place. So he pretty much set Othello up for destruction. So yeah, that part.
Yeah.
Powerful play. And it was funny because up until, oh God, I can't remember the name of the actor, but the first black actor to actually play the role of Othello came out of the African Grove Theater as well. I can't remember his name at this time.
That's some history that you only going to hear here on Funk from the Front Seat. We're hanging out the amazing Nancy Marie. Please stay active on the chat lines. Go back and watch the shows. They're always stored on YouTube. You can check them out on my YouTube channel, which, by the way, we just pushed ourselves over 100, so I'm really proud of that. 100 people actually like it. I got the message the other day. Mark and I celebrated a little bit. So
all right.
Good job, Mark. Yes, let's go for 200 now. But, when we get a chance to see Black theater performed in areas that are predominantly minority areas, and kids get a chance to understand, like, wow, our culture is a lot deeper than, say, some video that they may see of some, thing or whatever, that we're seeing now, or a typical, movie that, I still call them Black exploitation films, only they're not called that now, but we still see them. We know the ones that are out there, and we know what's real and what ain't. You being in the business, do you feel that some of those kids will carry that message and take it on and get in the theater?
I do. I absolutely do, because the impact is powerful. It's funny because, speaking of inspiring the next generation, I had just shot a music video. It was a last minute gig. The original actress, for whatever reason, had dropped out. So I got a phone call that morning. Hey, are you busy? Can you come do this video with us? So I went on set, and it was a young man. The artist is named Shakar Small. And so we had an opportunity to talk while we were, we had a lull in activity. And he
Yes.
asked me a question. He asked me, what have you learned, being in this business? What is the one thing that you learned? And, I was telling him about just being vulnerable, being able to, to open yourself up and share what's inside of you so that you can impact somebody else. And he sent me the most beautiful message on Instagram after it was all over, telling me how that one statement that I made really inspired him, and how he was going to start being vulnerable and really sharing his, what's inside of him and the things that he's experienced, his mistakes, and all of that other stuff. So I was like, yeah, there's hope. We just have to be willing to plant the seed, whether we see the harvest immediately, as in this instance, because like I said, he responded. Sometimes you don't get to see that, but years down the road, you'll see somebody like, oh yeah, I remember when I planted, and now I'm seeing the harvest. So
Yeah.
So even with this production, I had children coming up, wanting to become an actor, become an actress, or even behind the scenes stuff.
Yes.
Opportunities available to produce, to direct. So it makes a difference. All you have to do is show up and shine your light, and you'll be surprised what a difference that can make in somebody else's life.
That's right. And you are my queen, Nancy Marie, hanging out, making a huge difference in the world. And the fact that so many of us are trying to make a small difference in our own way. We need more people to really get on this tip, because we don't need any negativity. We got, the universe supplying enough of that. And we got, people, the dark forces, the evil forces supplying enough of that. So if you guys are out there, man, understand what Nancy is saying about, feeding and planting seeds. We have to do that. Sometimes kids just need a place to go and see. Sometimes they don't want to be what's going on and be part of that. But every now and then, they may gravitate and get out of that clique, and that's what's needed. If we could pull them out one at a time, we can't pull them all out. But if we could pull them out one at a time, I think that will, be doing a service to society. You know what I mean? We're hanging out today. We're going to get back on the other side. Mark, I do love to hear Keith Jackson's voice and Chrissy's voice. And we're going to stop for a quick second. Y'all come right back. We're hanging out with Nancy Marie. Thank you for joining us. When we come back, I want to talk to you more about your career now and what you're doing. And, of course, we're going to address a few elephants in the room.
Hey, this is Keith Jackson with P-Funk Radio, inviting you to check out my brother Zach Robinson with Funk from the Front Seat. Saturdays, 12 noon on the East Coast and 9 a.m. on the West Coast. It all happens on 9 on the Grind TV and also on YouTube. Great guest, great conversation each and every Saturday. That's Funk from the Front Seat with Zach Robinson on 9 on the Grind TV and YouTube. Check him out.
Hey, it's Chrissy Key Rollins here with Holistic Restoration, inviting you to check out Zach Robinson with Funk in the Front Seat. He drops new episodes every Saturday at noon on the East Coast time, and replays are posted for whenever you miss a live stream. You can find him on 9 on the Grind TV and also on YouTube, and get ready for the funk because he brings it every week, along with hot topics, amazing guests, and great conversations. Again, that's Zach Robinson with Funk from the Front Seat on 9 on the Grind TV and YouTube. Go check them out.
Thank you, Mark. And I'd like to also thank P-Funk Radio, JTRP. You guys are amazing. Thank you, Keith. Hi, Honeybee. I love you. Gabe Gonzalez, Larry Funkster Jones. And, of course, my man Philly Phil down there in Texas, Robin Circular P as well. And out on the West Coast, Donnie D, Soul Sunday. And, of course, my man up top in Ohio, the Funk Chronicles, Mr. David Webb. Thank you guys for always supporting what we do. Bootsy, Collins, and Peppermint Patty, I love you guys. I can't thank you enough. Stay safe down in Alabama and the World Games. HJ Entertainment and K&N Jams, very influential people in my business circle, and I love you guys. Tony Cam, happy birthday, bro. I love you. Thanks for showing up. Nappy Head Funk Army and 2.0. Love you guys. Oak City Music Collective down here in Durham, my management company. Afterglow 92416 and Q&A Entertainment. I'll see you guys at the Funketeers Ball in September. I'm looking forward to that. Brooke Clagett, my funk angel. Love TXS Energy Drinks. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to get over there and get them, but I do love them so much, but I don't have a can. Pat Diori Curtis and Georgia Funkavinci with this beautiful artwork. Dr. Brookenstein, thank you for everything that you do. And all the fans out there watching, thank you guys for tuning in. Nancy Marie's in the house with us. We're back on the other side. My producer, Mr. Markley, back there behind the glass. I love you guys. Y'all are dope. So I appreciate all you guys watching. So Nancy, let me ask you, what's one of your newer or your latest endeavor that you're actually working on? I love the picture of you, by the way, in the director's chair. Like you, that's some flaming fire right there, because you're like, you ain't even giving us all the face. You giving us the half turn. And the half turn is sometimes so it speaks powerful. The half turn is powerful. Because the half turn is like, listen, I'm busy. I'm grinding. I'm gonna give you the half turn. Accept that and be gone. I love the half turn. Hey, I love it. I saw that. I was like, that's the picture I'm gonna use. Because I got a lot of promo pictures. The half turn, yo, that works for me in the director's chair. I was like, yo, that's so fire.
Silly. Oh my God.
I love it. So what you been doing besides the play?
So I was actually supposed to be directing another music video today. We got rained out, so it's going to be postponed.
Yeah.
But I was doing a music video for a very powerful song by Tony Mack entitled Bad Cop, Good Cop. Okay. So it pretty much speaks to the police brutality issue that we're facing today. This will be my third video that I produced and edited for Tony. The first one was with his group Fresh Band, which was called ICU. And that was a fun video shoot with Debbie Cole and Anthony Ogborn and different people, it was a funk tune talking about, getting the ICU. The link to that video is in my link tree. The second video I did with him was with Mack and Gibbs, and it was called By Your Side. It was a gospel video, which was really fun and beautiful. And now, so this will be the third, and this is going to be very edgy. We're actually going to be shooting at Graffiti Pier, and you can look that up. Graffiti Pier is one of the most iconic places here in Philadelphia, where artists just went. They took the whole pier over, and there's all kinds of artwork on that pier. Luckily, they reopened the pier, because when the pandemic hit, they had shut the pier down because there was just all kinds of crazy stuff going on there. But they reopened the pier from 9 to 5. So we are definitely going to be shooting at that location, specifically because there is a beautiful mural of Breonna Taylor there.
Man, yeah.
So we're going to use that as the backdrop and pretty much let the words of the song carry the video, because I'm telling you, if you have not heard that song yet, you guys need to listen to it and listen to it again. And
it's
again.
On YouTube?
Yes. Bad Cop, Good Cop, Tony Mack. Bad
Cop, Good Cop. All right. You know what? You may see me up there soon trying to use that pier, because I may have you do some stuff for me, because I tell you, I love that art. When you said the artwork, I told you you're going to do it. Nobody has done it yet for me. Trust me. I got some stock footage from the show we did, but you're the one that's going to put it together for me. I didn't forget. You're the one. I got you. This is a family affair.
Things. And then I also have a very special project that I was blessed to become a part of. It's a new streaming platform called the Black Education Station.
Amen.
I am the content acquisition and recruitment liaison for this station. So it's a streaming platform that's going to be launched in the fall of 2022. And it's dedicated to the educational needs of Black children, their parents, and educators. No shade to anybody else. But again, like I said at the top of the show, nobody's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves.
That's right.
And with the things that are going on in the school system that was based upon the Prussian education system, which was basically designed to produce slaves. Okay. Horace Mann went over there, learned that system, brought it back to America. And the system, it causes people not to think for themselves. It causes people, not to question or discover, not to use critical thinking skills. Yep. So with that in place, and then couple that with all this critical race theory that's going on right now, and the fact that laws are being passed telling us what we can teach, what we can't teach, books are being banned. Somebody had to step up and do something so that our children know that they don't have to go use their gifts and talents and work for somebody else to build their empire. And then when that empire is built and they're at the age of retirement and all they have to show for it is a watch and a thank you.
I'm glad you brought that up. And we're hanging out, with the amazing Nancy Marie, director, producer, and all that good stuff. Because critical thinking in our educational system today, like you said, is designed to teach everything out of us. And the system itself that puts, onuses on so many things that don't really matter in the real world. Kids can't write in cursive. They can't do multiplication. Practical things that they know, will help somebody get along quicker, faster. They're not even being utilized, and they're not even trying to teach it. And I'm such a downer when it comes to the school system, because teachers now have to worry about getting shot, hiding their students. Right. You already had to be, and you're an educator, so you already had to be a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and a social worker. Sometimes, you have to make sure kids eat, so you're the cafeteria person. You have to make sure they get home safely every now and then. So you're the bus driver. Now you got to worry about being shot at and hiding your kids and getting home back to your own family, all in the course of an 8-hour day.
Right, 8 hours.
5 days a week. This is your day, 5 days a week. So there's no wonder why nobody wants to be a teacher. Can't blame them, and I don't say it's right. I'm just saying, damn, come on, America, we could do better than this. Right. We could do better than this, man.
It's systematic. I mean, look at the trajectory of what has happened since they started pulling the arts out of the schools.
Yep.
Right. And you can see the steady decline, because what they don't want us to know is the correlation between the arts and education. They don't want us to be educated holistically. They don't want us to know that a child with a background in music is going to be prolific in mathematics, because the two go hand in hand. And Amen. This is why the youth in China, where you have kids at the age of 2 that can play the violin they're brushing their teeth, and they're mathematical geniuses because they have that musical background. And Amen. They took that away from us in America. So now we're failing at math. We're failing at so many things because that component was taken away. It's all about teaching a standardized test.
Amen.
And whose standards are we teaching? Whose standards are we going by? Because, we don't meet the standard that they're setting, and that's by design as well.
Yeah, they dumb it down.
Yeah, we have to even the playing field. We have to, provide supplemental education so that our children don't get left behind. And that's what the Black Education Station is all about. Providing supplemental material, to train educators, to train, parents who may have decided that they're going to homeschool their children. Okay, well, we have resources for you available to help you along that path. to help teachers, find innovative ways to get the children back, to draw them back into wanting to be educated, because the majority of our children don't even want to be educated.
No, anymore. They don't. They're poisoned. And I'm glad you said something that's very important. It stands out to me. When kids are failing across the board, instead of the educational system pushing them up, they lower the standards and dumb down the test even more.
Yep.
So you're dumbing it down, but they're already like at a low standard. Like we're like 20 something in the world, or whatever we are, 15, 20. We're not in the top 10. And when they dumb it down, the kids that were already like, well, this is already boring to me, and they can exceed. They're like, well, you're too hyper. We got to put you on some medicine. Because this stuff is so easy for you. You appear to be hyperactive. There must be something wrong with you. So you know what? We're going to send you to the medical profession. And then they get a customer. You know what I mean? And this is part of the problem. I hate this so bad. I mean, if y'all are watching out there, you want to come on and debate me, fine. Because I'm going to tell you, half these kids don't need to be on this stuff. They don't need it. Because the educational system is so dumb. They figured this work out in their head. So then they're sitting in class like, well, what do I do now?
Right. When I first started teaching, I was called to teach at this Christian school in Southwest Philadelphia. My first day of school, I encountered this young man. He was in my 6th grade class. I will never forget him. His name is Julian Settle. So my classroom, it was a private school. My classroom wasn't ready. So my first day, I had to teach in the schoolyard pretty much. So here I am trying to do a spelling assessment with my 6th graders. I got to word number 2. Julian balled up his paper, threw it in my face, and said, I'm not doing this. And I was traumatized. Right. Well, I'm thinking, I'm going into a Christian school. I'm not going to have the problems that they have in the public school. I'm expecting these prim, proper, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am kids. And them kids ran me ragged the first day. And Julian was one of the ones who was diagnosed supposedly, and they tried to put him on Ritalin. My principal, I thank God for her, Dr. Marilyn Miles. She told Julian's mom, don't you put him on that stuff. And fast forward to today, Julian is one of the lead prosecutors in the city of Philadelphia.
Look at that. There was nothing wrong with him. Nothing wrong with him. Good for you.
Nothing wrong with him.
Good for you.
But, saying all that to say, I was devastated, because this is what we were dealing with, because, parents were pulling their children out of the public schools, hoping that, putting them in a Christian school, an alternative school would help them. So we had our work cut out for us because, we had the same batch of kids, but luckily I was in an environment where I was able to do things that they wouldn't have allowed in the public school system.
Yeah, good for you.
So, but, absolutely, most of the children that are on Ritalin don't need to be on Ritalin or any kind of drug.
That's right.
They really don't.
That's a beautiful story. I didn't mean to cut you off. That's a beautiful story, and I'm glad you shared that, because this has been my pet peeve all along. I've seen all of this stuff progress, Dr. Brookenstein said good stuff. I've seen all this.
I can't write that.
I've seen all. No, we get. I've seen all of this stuff progress over the past 30, 40 years, like you said. And little by little, I'm like 15, 20 years ago, I was like, well, wow, they're making customers for the future, Mm-hmm. And a certain amount of people need a certain thing. I'm not discounting anyone that needs something. All I'm saying is, if you're in a class and they take away the arts, no music, no drawing, no mechanical, no wood shop, no creative stuff, right? Half the brain is set up to be creative.
Right.
So you like you said, it's the dumbing down. And we have to start at the grassroots, rebuilding our whole country. We really do. We light workers like you and me. We're doing what we can to put it out there. But we need a movement, and everything has to go back to the tribe. I've been saying this for like 30 years. The tribe took care of the village, and then the village took care of that country, and then therefore that country can take care of the rest of the world. It's like a thing. It starts with the tribe, you know, and the tribe nowadays is busted up all over the place, fighting this, that. Before we get into the heavy stuff, I know you're an author, and I know one of your pet projects has always been Girl Talk. So tell my audience a little bit about that.
The podcast.
I ain't forget about that. I got you covered.
Yeah. So we ended our third season.
Oh man.
And last time we talked, I was telling you, you know, I think the only, well, aside from Antarctica, the only continent that we hadn't quite reached was South America. Season 3, we got South America.
Look at that. God
so
is good.
We are heard on 6 continents across the globe. Whoa. And we introduced some new content. We have this one young lady named Marmia Day, who, if you ever get a chance to speak with her, this young woman, she revolutionized my life. I learned more from her than I think she ever learned from me.
I'd love to have her on.
Yeah, she did a couple of episodes on spoken word activism. Bruh, she had this one poem called Atlas on her knee. I was like, so we integrated that content into the podcast. And I'm telling you, we had a 3-month run on the Apple podcast charts in Spain and a 3-month consistent 3 months. We were on the charts in Spain and in Poland.
Yo, that's dope.
Poland, bruh.
Poland.
Yeah, so we're gearing
Shout
up
out
for
the
the 4th
Poland
season. We're going to gear up for our 4th season. And I'm looking forward to what's in store. I'm going to tell you right now, if we get Antarctica, y'all going to have to build a monument around me, because I'm just going to kind of lay down in my spot, and that's going to be it.
You're going to get it.
Listening, that's that.
You're going to get it. You're going to get it. Because, see, it's your time. I tell people, listen, if it's your time, it's inevitable. God has the plan. You know, Bootsy Collins once told me, we perform on the stage, but God runs the show. So, and I never forgot when he told me that, he said, it'd be your time. It'd be your time. Just relax. And I've been watching, and especially you was doing a lot of that initial stuff during the COVID, which was twice as hard. Because I remember, the first few times you came on the show and you were talking about it and how it was growing and growing into this thing, and I knew then, I was like, yo, that's going to be something special, man. So that's dope, man. Good for you. We're hanging out with Nancy Marie. We're going to bring my producer, Mr. Mark Lee, on in a little while. But of course, we have to address a few elephants in the room. So elephant number 1, obviously, the school shootings.
Where do you even begin with that? Like, where do you begin? I think about the teacher in Texas who lost every single one of his students, but he survived.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, how do you go on? How do you go on? And especially knowing that, number one, it could have been avoided. It could have ended sooner than it did. The number of children and teachers that were lost didn't have to be. So you have to wonder, what are the people in charge really thinking about? And what is the value? What is it that's being valued? Because clearly it's not life.
No, not even kids.
So yeah, I can't even, because my children, my baby girl, she just turned 20. So all of my children are, pretty much grown, but, I have my grandbabies and they're just starting. And, is this something that they're going to have to face in the future? The worry about going to school and the possibility of not coming home again. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but at the same token, you have laws protecting people's rights to have these guns, and there's no litigation that's being put in place to protect the innocent lives that are being lost because these laws are in place. And it seems like that law is more important. You can't be telling me you're pro-life and you running around shooting stuff. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's a dichotomy. It really is. It's really, that's one thing that always stands out in my mind when people say that. And again, I have family members, they may own weapons, we don't get into it. They know what side I stand on clearly, but I'm not against that. I understand the need to feel that you need the weapon, and the way the world is going, we may all end up needing them, but at some point. But I don't understand how sensible people, no matter what their political affiliation, can roll with the fact that an 18-year-old can walk in same day, buy a weapon, automatic, get a backpack full of ammo. Somebody in that store has to say, wait, this backpack full of ammo thing, what's that about?
Right.
Somebody's got to see that and say, hey, let's hold off for a minute. Let's see what this is about. Mm-hmm. Somebody, anybody. Right. Could have been a customer. If I was in the store buying a gun and I saw a guy walk out with a backpack full of ammo, I'm going to be like, yo, 911, you better watch this guy. You got a backpack full of stuff.
Sadly, warnings have been given, and they take the wait and see approach.
Yeah, which is part of the plan. As part of the plan.
But by the same token, you have a young man that, the gun is in the back seat of the car. Okay, granted. But dude is running away from you. He's running from you, and he ends up with how many bullets in his body?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But dude got a backpack full of ammo and a gun and just walking freely, and everything's copacetic.
Yep. Yeah. That's the racial divide we at. That's where we at. And we still there. And I don't care what people say. Obviously, everybody has their opinion about it. But, it's entrenched and built in such a way now to where politically, people just accept that to be the norm, which really pisses me off. But real quick, while you say that, and I noticed when they showed the video of this parade shooter, and God bless those people, in Chicago. Ironically, Napier Funk Army, we were supposed to be in Chicago that same day playing a gig somewhere else. But
go ahead, because I was just about to say, and I was supposed to be at that concert at Welcome America where the cops got shot.
Wow.
But thank God I ain't crazy about Jason Derulo.
Yeah, right.
That's the only reason why I didn't go. I did some promo for BES earlier in the day, and then I left.
Uh-huh.
And so that part.
Yeah. See, that's amazing, right? But I was gonna say, when they said, hey, could you kindly, sir, put your hands on the dashboard, and could you kindly step out of the car? There was no knee on his neck. Could you lay down, please, for me, sir? He was served to death. I was like, well, damn, isn't this the guy that just killed 6 people?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So again, we're still in it, y'all. So y'all stay woke out there, man. Of course, this bleeds over into gun control. Tell me your thoughts on that for a minute.
I don't really know what to say about that, because like you said, it's getting to a point where we're going to need to be armed to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. But it just seems like the way the laws are going and the way the laws are being put in place, it's kind of being designed so that we don't have the same right to arms that they do. So if and when something jumps off like January 6th again or whatever, am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, this is organic. You can say what the fuck you want.
Because I just want to make sure I can say it. We're going to be ass out. Because it's not.
Yeah. Some of us are being forced into this thing. As much as I dislike weapons, and I'm an Anunnaki soldier from the past, so weapons was always my thing. I grew up around weapons. My dad and mom owned a gun. Kept a 20-20 to seat, but also they lived in areas where they was going to get lynched, so they wasn't having that. But, they wasn't having it, But I thought about it, and the more and more I see them taking rights away, but at the same time, certain people could still have the rights. I'm like, well, what's that about? Suppose somebody's coming after me, and I'm just like, okay, I got a knife and they got a gun. You can't bring a knife to a gunfight. You know what I'm saying? That's just dumb. That's dumb. But again, we're right there. I can see over the next 5 years, I was like, all right, I got to get me one of those trunks. You know what I'm saying? And I got to just put shit in it, just in case, like insurance.
Right.
I was already talking to my friend in Nevada about it. She said, come out and, I can train up and all this other stuff, But again, man, I hate to think like that. I really do. But here's where we are. Here's where we are. You know what I mean? Something I wanted to talk to you about, and we're hanging out with the amazing Nancy Marie. When it comes to the Supreme Court, I'm not going to get into the decision because everybody has their personal, private opinion about the decision. But my thing is, why do we because I got to go back to Ruth, and somebody I was talking to this week mentioned that had Ruth, in her frailty, given up her spot while Barack was there, we could have got somebody that was a little bit more understanding. But due to who she was and her status, she held on to the spot. And then when she unfortunately passed away, it got filled by someone else after the Barack era. But I kind of always wished that posthumously she would have just stepped aside for a minute. But I understand why she didn't. First one. So, you can't. You got to stay there until it's over. Yeah. But the Supreme Court now seems to me, when they start talking about Brown versus the Board of Education, that worries me. That really worries me.
You should be worried. They're going to try to overturn any and everything that's going to put us back into the American nigga zoo position, if you will, and elevate them to prominence. So the position where, slavery without benefits, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And then one of the theories that I heard, surrounding this whole abortion ban, if you will. And it's a theory. I can't say it's true. I can't say it's false, but it's a theory that I heard that makes sense. This is more so about the fact that at the rate population is going right now, the white population has dropped so drastically that if that continues, they will be the minority in this country.
Right.
So the ban was more so to build the white population back up.
Yeah.
Okay. This is one of the things that I'm hearing about that. But at that same time, while building that back up, because of course they're going to have the access to the health care, and trust and believe those in power, if their mistresses get pregnant, they're gonna have access to an abortion. Trust and believe that. Okay. If their wives or daughters get pregnant and they don't want that baby, they're going to have access. But for the common people, if you will, the Black women, the brown women who don't have access to adequate health care, it's almost like, okay, well, if you make it through that pregnancy and you have the baby, okay, good for you. You got that one. But if you happen to die because it was an ectopic pregnancy, or whatever, that's one going plus one more going. You feel what I'm saying? It's sad, but that's the mentality that we're dealing with.
Totally. And see, that's why they wanted the border closed. It wasn't because they felt like our Latin brothers and sisters were smuggling drugs. It was because they was changing the color of this country. So kudos. I'm like, every Latin Mexican person, come on in. Let's switch this shit up. You know what I'm saying? Join us, brown-skinned people. I was happy as hell because I'm like, well, damn, everywhere I go now is bilingual. I'm for that. You know what I'm saying? I know a little bit. I apply a little bit of Espanol. So I'm like, yo, y'all come on in here. We won't need that. Because I know that this is fucking with people. See? And that's what I like. Because it's been too much one-sided for way too long. So let's flip the script a little bit, Right. And thank you for saying that, because that is the most common sense excuse for this that I see, that makes sense to me, and there's Whoopi Goldberg, bless her heart. When she first came out on Broadway, she did her one-woman show, right? And there's a segment that you can pull up on YouTube. In her one-woman show, she talks about, and this is Whoopi, this is not my opinion, this is her doing it, so I'm paraphrasing, when she went down by Central Park and went in a bathroom and did the thing with a clothes hanger, and she was 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? And she does a whole skit about it. Now, comedy has a way of making tragedy less painful, but when she does this skit, it made me cry. Yeah. Because I thought about my daughters. I got two young queens coming out in the world. One going to college, Appalachian State. I love you, Kayla. Congrats. And mine's going to high school, Jordan High School. And I think about them. I'm like, well, damn, what chance do they got? If we doing this now, I got to fight. And I'm trying to have as many women organizations on my show the end of the year to talk about these things, because they need to be spoken about. And I'm glad you brought that up, because next is going to be, well, anybody that's into P-Funk, we're going to put you in prison. I'm like, what? When did this happen? You know what I'm saying? It could be anything. Yeah. So, Dr. Brooks, these are the times that constant prayer is definitely needed for our country. That's right. Pray that those who are caught up in the forces of darkness, that God will put him into the light. Well said, David Brooks. Amen. Thank you. Mr. Mark Lee, you back there, bro. You look bored. Come on in and chat with Nancy a little bit,
Never bored when I'm talking to y'all. Never bored at all. So cannot be bored. Cannot be bored in this conversation. Y'all are dropping some jewels and some knowledge. And all that stuff. So I was just enjoying all that knowledge that y'all were dropping. And I was actually going to go where you did not want to go, because I personally do not know how any man can tell a woman what to do with their body and all of that. So that's where I stand on that whole issue and all along those lines. But definitely, I agree with you, Nancy, about what you said about education, because education, we're not teaching critical thinking. And I actually work for an education testing company, and I know that sometimes we don't do that in the least bit. But no, y'all were dropping all kinds of knowledges and all kinds of thoughts. So I'm just glad to be in the room with y'all and all of that. And definitely, Brookenstein was saying about Hable Espanol, but he was also saying that he backs the funk, and we know he does that just like you do as well. So that was a great show that you gave, by the way, Nancy, you missed it. He just turned it out. Like I said, he turned it out totally and all of that. And I wish that you had been there because it's an amazing show. And definitely those of you that caught it, you got a treat. And hopefully they realized that they need funk on a regular basis. They've definitely had blues in the past, had folk music in the past, and now hopefully they'll be adding funk on a regular routine as well, because we need Zach at that festival, as well as all the festivals on a regular basis and all along those lines. So definitely an amazing job was done by Brother Zach and all of that. My quick question for you, because you were talking about theater and everything and it's a personal question, but do you have any of those people in your theater community that are coming down here to Winston-Salem? Because it's been 3 years since we've had the National Black Theater Festival, and in August, first week of this month, they will actually be returning. So I know that actually Petrie Bird, some of y'all know him as Judge as the bailiff on Judge Judy, and I forget the young lady's name, but they are the co-chairs. So after a 3-year hiatus, the National Black Theater Festival is descending on Winston-Salem and performing, and unfortunately both of the founders, Larry Leon Hamlin and his wife Sylvia, have passed on, but they call that holy ground. They call that Black Holy Ground, and that's the way that they think of it. So I don't know if you got any people coming, but I'm hoping you do, because I'd love to see you there and everything.
What are the dates?
August 1st through the 6th. So it's the first week in August down in Winston-Salem.
Wow. I'll put my feelers out and definitely let you know. And if not 2022, then definitely 23. I will be there. Maybe I could do a stage.
Cool. And I'm not sure whether they're going to do it every. That would be wonderful. I think that would be an amazing thing. And I think they're still in the process of getting some of those stage readings together. So yeah, definitely put those feelers out, and who knows, maybe we can get you to do a stage reading, because they do that whole midnight theater thing with the stage reading. Garland Thompson Jr., who is following in the footsteps of his dad, actually does that and actually helps organize that on a regular basis. And they've also got the poetry, the Midnight Poetry Slam, and a bunch of other things, vendors, and all of that. Now, they also are not doing enough with the music, so we got to find a way to get Zach plugged in also.
It's all coming together, bro, just like it should, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, Mark, in lieu of you working at the Hentai Center down here in North Carolina, do you plan on having theater companies like Nancy travel now that COVID is over?
Actually, we're seeing more and more. We are seeing more and more of that. I think there's been a couple of theater groups that have come through the area. There was actually a group that's actually in Burning Coal, which is in Raleigh, and they're actually doing a production this week about Ethel Waters and all of that. So I actually had the pleasure of talking to Ken Hinton earlier. But yes, theater groups are starting to travel, touring groups, and definitely I do know that we are looking into that possibility. The Quilter Circle just actually, which meets here, and it's the African American Quilter Circle, they just had their first in-person meeting earlier today, which is the reason that I am here at the center and all of that. And the jazz band was practicing downstairs. They've been practicing for a while, but the Quilter Circle, the young lady is actually the one that was doing the Zoom meeting, was from Philadelphia. So she was actually doing the Zoom meeting, even though she's here. She was repping the area, definitely representing your area and all of that. But it was real good seeing them come out. It sounds like it was a hybrid event. So maybe if I was to guess, 14 or 15 were here and the rest of them were watching it or coming in from the Zoom session and all of that. But definitely we are seeing more people coming out and about and doing events. So definitely I think that is a strong possibility. I just have to get in touch with Quentin, John Frazier, and Angela and some of the others that are the ones that are actually the people that make the final decisions. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to do everything I can to twist their arms and see if we can't get you down here.
That'd be dope. I was going to say, we were talking about some serious race relations and things going on in this country. And as you guys know, ever since they started unteaching things and removing books, and like Nancy and I were talking about earlier, in January on our show, we started our own history moment. Native American, Black American, Asian American, Mexican American, Latino American, doesn't really matter, white American. We just want to make sure that we do our part to educate everybody. And Mr. Mark Lee is going to tell us who we got today.
We have an amazing gentleman. I'm going to try to pull up the picture that I got of him and everything. But this gentleman was definitely would have been involved in a number of the issues that are going on even on today, whether that was things centering around race, whether that was things centered around education, whether that was things centered around civil rights, whether that was even things that center around the various wars that are going on. And he was also very much in the health space as well, because yes, he was an avid, particularly in the end of his life, vegetarian, and involved in a lot of things in that space as well. So he was an amazing gentleman, an amazing comedian, but it was not afraid to do something that I think Nancy is very good at doing, and which I wish I'm ready to try to pull him up right now as I'm talking and all of that. But he is also involved in a number of things that are going on and that our artists should be involved in regularly, which is this whole concept of art activism. And art activism is something that is very amazing. And I think the better artists are also art activists. And that is none other than the legendary. And I do mean legendary. And that's why I'm going to bring up this lovely picture and bill. So that is none other than the amazing Dick Gregory and all of that. So he was truly an amazing legend about our past leadership, definitely about some of the things that have been going on with our own health and how we've been treating our health even in this pandemic era and all along those lines. So definitely
I want to hear Nancy's thoughts on Dick Gregory and what you thought about Dick Gregory, Nancy.
Oh my God, my baby girl, I'm so jealous. Dick Gregory actually came to my daughter's school when she was in 5th grade. She sat at the feet of Dick Gregory. I absolutely adored Dick Gregory and was so jealous of her that I wasn't the one sitting in her spot. He was an amazing individual in every sort of way. My big sister was the one that first introduced me to him. Not personally, but I mean, brought him to my awareness, if you will. I never got to meet him in person. That just would have been an honor. But the fact that my daughter got to sit at his feet and listen to his wisdom, that was amazing for me. Yeah, I absolutely love Dick Gregory.
Yeah, to me, he was a Renaissance man. The first Black comedian to be on, TV, paving the way for Cosby and, Richard and all the rest. And when I watched the history of him and his doc and how when he went to join the movement down South, he was like, you know what? Comedy's cool, but I got to join this thing. He didn't even know what he was going to do. He didn't know how he was going to do it. God used him, because he had a voice and he was powerful. And had it not been for this man right here, Dick Gregory, then the movement may not have been what it was, And if we fast forward to today with Dave Chappelle, I love Chris Rock, but Chris does it in a different way. Dave Chappelle, to me, is the guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He's the guy. Chris does it, and I love Chris. They built like 1A and 1B, but Dave Chappelle drops that knowledge down in such a way that I know Dick Gregory is proud of what he does, man. Mark, you have a little bit of history on where was Dick Gregory born at?
Yeah, I'm going to bring all of that up and everything. But yeah, Dick Gregory was just truly amazing. And as I had told you earlier, we had the pleasure actually of having Dick Gregory make an appearance here at Hey Ty. You had mentioned Hey Ty. And I can tell you that it was a packed house when he was here. And that was under a different leadership here at the center and everything. And he did not pull any punches. That is the one thing I love about Dick Gregory, is that he never pulled any punches whatsoever. So he definitely did not pull any punches. And one of the things that I was going to mention, which I don't know that you were aware of this or not, was that actually it's ironic that we picked him for this particular month because he passed away in August 5 years ago. So it was 5 years ago that he actually passed away and all of that. And he passed away in Washington. So definitely he was one that was doing, like I said, a lot of this amazing and great work. And like I said, he was a health and a spiritual advocate and a motivational speaker. speaker. And among the books he wrote was Murder in Memphis, which analyzed in his mind the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. and all along those lines. And even John Legend, a great person, said that Dick Gregory lived an amazing revolutionary life, a groundbreaker in comedy, and a voice for justice. So he actually tweeted that at the time of his death some 5 years ago. So he actually passed away back in 2017 and all in that space. So like I said, he's done some great and amazing work and all in that space, and definitely was seen as a true legend, and one that I am proud to say that I did get to see perform and get a chance to actually have a brief, not as long of a conversation as I would have liked, but a brief conversation with the man when he was brought here and everything. So
kudos,
definitely.
Man. You know, it's like when we meet people like this in our lives and they touch our lives, all we can do is take their light and keep it shining, you know? So that's our educational spot for this week, Funk from the Front Seat. Obviously, you know, every week we're going to highlight someone, you know, that made a difference. So Dick Gregory, comedian, actor, activist, nutritional health coach, and strong, powerful king and black man, you know, who changed the world for white impact.
And you would actually
say, hold on. Yeah. I want to say, Dick Gregory, I salute you. Thank you.
Yes, I definitely appreciate that and everything. And you asked where he was born. He was actually born October 12th, 1932, in a town that is definitely known for its history in the arts, none other than St. Louis, Missouri. So he passed away in Washington, D.C. on August 19th, but he was born October 12th in St. Louis, Missouri. So that is where his original home was, and all of that. And of course, he won a number of awards, including the NAACP Image Awards. I guess my quick question for Nancy, and
make it quick.
Is, what is your thoughts about artists as activists? Because to me, that is something that more artists need to do. So, Nancy, I turn to you. What is your thoughts about artists as activists?
Artists should be activists because they have that platform. They have that voice. So why not raise your voice to make a difference, to impact change? I'm all for artists and activism. I'm at the point where if there's not some sort of educational component that can be gleaned from what I'm doing, I'm not going to do it. You know, and I mean, it doesn't like, it's not about route education or anything like that, but as an artist, it's our responsibility to use the platform. You know, we could use the platform for good, or we can use it to perpetuate the nonsense that's going on. So, yeah, activism all day, every day.
I'm reading one of the comments. Thank you, Purple Reels. Lovely. You know, Dick Gregory sure was amazing. He never backed down. That man. I only saw him when he rented the theater. I was working at the DC in DC. He rented it out to see the movies, and I am not your Negro. Wow, that's deep. That movie, I am not. Yeah, I remember that. And thank you for that lovely comment, Purple Reels. Appreciate it. You know, thank you for tuning in. You know, y'all drop thumbs up and all that good stuff on the YouTube channels and all that stuff. Y'all know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to say it. Y'all know how to do it. But, you know, every week we want to make sure these people are not forgotten. That's why we started doing it, Mark and I. We thought about it and we said, January, we're going to start doing this because it's important. You know, a lot of people take it for granted, Nancy and Mark. They take for granted the shoulders we stand on. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like the beautiful story you told about the theater early on, you know, the first one that was started back in 1821, you know, we stand on those shoulders.
Yeah. And we have an obligation. We have an obligation to continue the work.
Yeah.
Like we have a strong, beautiful foundation, and it would be a shame for us not to carry on the work that was begun and to take it to the next level and make sure that when we become foundational pieces, that our shoulders are as broad and as strong as the ones that we currently stand upon.
Amen. 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 Mark, last word. Make it quick. Real quick for Nancy. What you got?
No, like I said, y'all have done an amazing job, great conversation, and great things that were being said. And I definitely agree that artists should be activists and use their voice to get their word out. And like Nancy alluded to, unfortunately, we've lost a lot of those legends and everything. I think about people like Mickey Grant and some others that have passed on, and definitely we need to remember to honor them as well, Dick Gregory included. So definitely that is one of the things that I try to do, is honor the past and their legacy, but also know that we have some new voices out there as well.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Mark Lee, producer extraordinaire, keeping it fast behind the glass, for all the hard work you do. I really, really appreciate you, bro. I love you, man. Appreciate it, man. We lost today also, yesterday, day before yesterday, an actor that I got to just, shout him out, James Caan. He was one of my favorite cats. Yeah. He played the bad guy a lot of times, but, he has skills, and again, salute to Mr. James Caan, Godfather, and all the other movies that he actually played in, which was a lot, And
he, Brian's song, man.
Yes, Piccolo. Yeah. He played that role. Let me tell you, people forget about Brian's song. Thank you for reminding me of that. I always forget a young Billy D and a young James Caan. And for those of you that don't know, Billy D was Denzel before Denzel.
Before, after, and in between.
And in between. That's right. Billy D, he was the one, He made all us dark-skinned brothers hate him because he had the light-skinned and good hair. But we couldn't take nothing away from his actors. Thank God we had Sidney Poitier. You know what I'm saying? The black nappy-headed man. I identify with him. Thank God I had Sidney, because I couldn't be Billy.
I ain't fooling with you today.
Yo, keeping it real. I told you I was coming in hot. Thank God. Raising in the sun, Porgy and Bess. I had you, Jack. But yeah, James Caan was dope. We've been hanging out today with this amazing woman, man. And I'm going to give you the last word, give you full screen, because I know there's something that you want to say to our audience to help perpetuate love, kindness, spirituality, and some good out there. And again, Nancy Marie, it's been gracious. I'm going to give you the last word before we get out. And then I'm going to come back and say my goodbyes to everybody. But, you guys go back and check her workout. You can follow her stuff on the screen. It's on the thread at the bottom. And you can make sure that you support each one of her projects, because this woman is watering the seeds that are growing.
I just want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in. Be gentle with yourselves. We're living in some crazy times, but you have to know the power that is within you. You have the ability to make a change, even if it's a small one. So be introspective and then reflect that light that is in you so that you can do your part to change this world for the better. I love you and I thank you. And can't wait to spend some time with you again. Peace out.
Yo, man, I love that. Thank you again for hanging out with us, Nancy Marie, my producer, Mr. Mark Lee. All you guys out there that's watching, go back and watch these shows to your heart content. I never charge a penny for them, and we appreciate everything that you do out there in the world, Nancy, making it a better place for our kids, for our future, for every single person on the planet, And remember, it is about peace, love, and harmony. Please, young people, don't hurt yourself, and please don't go out and hurt anyone else. Please, I'm begging you, I'm asking you, because we need you. Our shoulders are broad enough, but if all you guys are dead, ain't nobody going to be there to stand on us. So we need you to be alive so you can stand on our shoulders. We want to help you. We don't want you to do these things. Make the mistakes that we made. Learn from us. Go out and just do the right thing. Take a breath and relax sometime. That's all. Just take it easy. We're getting ready to get out of here. Funk from the Front Seat. Amazing show again. And we get ready to take you out as we came in with some fun. Are y'all ready? New York, Philadelphia, Italy, Dubai. You know how we roll it. North Carolina, South Carolina, I love you. Delaware. The Funketeers fall, y'all, September 10th. Bethesda Blues Club up in Maryland. I'll be there. Coming in hot, going out hot. I love y'all. New Orleans, where you at? Virginia, West Coast, the left coast. Staten Island, Bay Shore, my hometown. Strong Island, Dr. Brookenstein. That's right. Funk from the front seat, not on the grind TV. Are y'all ready to party today? We're the brother party right here, y'all. Shout out to Bootsy Collins and Peppers and Patty Collins. The World Games down in Alabama. Seattle's in the house. I'm loving you, Seattle. I love it, I love it, I love it. Seattle. What's up, what's up? Go Hawks. Feeling you, feeling you. I ain't gonna forget you, Seattle. Canada. Africa, Egypt, Iraq, Iran. Nothing but the funk, Detroit. Minneapolis. Feels so good. I got the vapors. I feel you, Nancy. What's up, Mark? Yo, man, you guys have been great today, man. Samoa's doing the Humpty Hump. Tokyo, I'm young. I say, yo. China. Shishi. Japan. I'm sorry y'all lost the Prime Minister. He got shot. He died. Sorry. Sorry. Ukraine, we love you. Russia, knock it off. We get ready to get out of here. Funk from the front seat. It's been a blast. Nancy, Mark, I love you guys. Everybody out there tuning in, thank you. And I will see you guys next Saturday. Peace. The power of the one, Bubba.